As someone with the Capital One Venture X, the Amex Platinum, and the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I can confidently say that the Capital One Venture X is my favorite amongst these three. But more importantly, it may be my favorite credit card in general, period. In this video, we'll be going over exactly why this is, my experience thus far, and also the facts behind who shouldn't be getting the Capital One Venture X. Feel free to navigate with the timestamps below because we'll start off with the high-level info of the Capital One Venture X, and then we'll get into the meat of it, and with that, let's get straight into it. Capital One's Venture X is advertised as earning 75,000 miles and earning double miles on all purchases each and every single day. Earning structure-wise, you're looking at 10x miles on all spend through Capital One's travel portal for rental cars as well as hotels, and for flights through the same portal, you're looking at 5x. The 2x miles you're going to earn, it doesn't matter what category or otherwise, it's on every single purchase, period. The sign-up bonus for the Capital One Venture X is going to be 75,000 miles after $4,000 in minimum spend in the first 3 months. Like most cards in the industry, the 3 months starts from account opening, where that decision is made if you're approved, versus when you actually physically receive the card. You have some travel benefits, such as Priority Pass, where you have access up to 1,400 lounges plus, as well as their partnership network, as well as their Capital One Lounge network. You also have $100 in terms of credit for either global entry or TSA PreCheck. This card comes with a couple annual benefits, where the first one's going to be you have up to $300 in travel credit to be spent specifically with Capital One's travel portal. And the reason it says up to 300 is because let's say you only use $100 of that 300, the following year it resets. Hence, it's up to 300 where if you don't use it, you lose it. In addition to that, you have 10,000 miles as an anniversary bonus, where every single card anniversary you're going to get 10,000 Venture X miles. Those are the annual benefits, and this card comes with an annual fee of $395. With that, let's get into what I love about this card, followed by who this card really isn't meant for. Starting us off, you get 2x miles on everything regardless of category. It's super straightforward. You don't need to think about what card is optimal for some scenario or otherwise. In general, no matter what you're buying, you're getting 2 times miles on every single purchase at minimum. With this being the case, it's great for folks that want cash back, but also love the optionality of getting miles. And with this card essentially being free, it's also great for folks that love no annual fee cards. Essentially, this would make it a long-term keeper card. The Venture miles you earn, I'll call them points for the rest of this video, essentially can be redeemed in a myriad of ways. From cashback to transferring your miles to transfer partners such as hotels and airlines, there's different ways to get value with these points. At certain times, you have elevated transfer bonuses to certain partners, which makes this 2x worth even more, especially depending how you redeem these points and what type of overall value you're getting. Essentially, 2x doesn't really mean 2% cashback necessarily, it could mean a lot more. With this flexibility, it's really good for cashback folks who just want cash back. And because of the annual fee being effectively $0, it's essentially saying that, hey, you can redeem these miles for cash or in any other way, whichever which way you choose. Moving on from there, we got 10x points on all spend through the portal for hotels as well as rental cars, and 5x on flights. Also, until May 2023, you're also going to get 10x on all spend with Turo. Turo, simply put, is like Airbnb but for car rentals. Another benefit of the Capital One Venture X is that you have President Circle status with Hertz. And we'll go into more detail later on in the video, but with that being the case, one of the coolest things is this. The fact that you're getting 10x on portal bookings for rental cars means that whether you want Hertz or any other type of company, but in addition to that, if you want Turo as well, you actually have that flexibility between going through the portal or going through Turo. For me, if I'm going to the airport, I prefer a rental car, let's say from Hertz, just due to the facilities and the fact that they're there. Yet at the same time, let's say you're in the suburbs really far away from an airport, I'm not saying Hertz isn't around, yet at the same time, Turo just is that much more accessible. Also, if you're curious, usually when you book through an OTA, an online travel agency, such as Expedia.com, Booking.com, etc., and in this case, Capital One's travel portal, with Hertz, when you book through it, you're actually not going to get Hertz points for that booking. This essentially means you have the option to book directly with Hertz, yet even if you don't book directly with them, you still have your President Circle status. Hence, if you book through the portal, you're actually getting 10x Venture X miles. Hertz is in the middle of its Chapter 11 bankruptcy, so they're not totally bankrupt, of course, yet at the same time, they're able to operate. But with that being said, I'm not the biggest fan of Hertz's points for simply the following 3 reasons. The first is the frequency of how often I rent cars. Essentially, it's not enough where I would be confident where I'd be getting enough Hertz points to be able to redeem for that next free rental. The second is, yes, they're around now, but in case they really weren't around, all those Hertz points accumulated, no matter how much the amount would be, would literally disappear like the snap of Thanos' fingers. And finally, I just prefer the flexibility of having miles versus not. This next point is going to seem supremely niche, as currently there's only one Capital One Venture X lounge in the United States, with two upcoming, one in Denver, as well as the other one in IAD in the state of Virginia later this year. From tons of food and drink options and amenities such as showers, workout rooms where you have a view of the tarmac, and so much more, this is truly one of my favorite lounges, hands down, specifically in the US, especially when you compare to Amex's Centurion lounges and Priority Pass lounges. As a segue from what we just talked about to our next point, one of the benefits of the Capital One Venture X is that you actually have access to 1,300 plus lounges in airports, where it's not just limited to lounges, but you can also have opportunities to sleep, to shower, and basically have more comfort while you're traveling. That isn't the main point. The main point is that you actually have up to 4 authorized users that you can get for free with the Capital One Venture X. So what that really means is, let's say you can take yourself and up to 2 other guests to a Priority Pass lounge. That means in theory, if you have you and 4 others, that's literally 5 people total. And if each of y'all can take 2 each in terms of guests, you're talking about 3 times 5 people total. So you're talking about 15 people. And really, this is all for free. And at the same time, you all don't need to go together, because you would have your individual capability. You can definitely split up, have that flexibility. And also, let's just say you are at a Capital One lounge, that's not really the Priority Pass network. It's just a specific benefit of the Capital One Venture X. Hence, you can also go to a Priority Pass lounge in the same airport and kind of lounge hop as you want. I think one of the coolest things was that the Capital One Venture X lounge at the DFW airport is right across from the Minute Suites, where you have access through your Priority Pass access. And it's a place where you can shower, sleep, and otherwise. But I needed to wait for that room to open up. Hence, I chilled at the Capital One Venture X lounge, and I took a shower there as well. Reason being, at Minute Suites, you actually have to pay money to take a shower. So I was able to eat, chill, shower, and then go to the Minute Suites. I didn't sleep there for an hour. I just wanted to experience it. It was my first time. And after that hour was up, I just went back to the Capital One Venture X lounge and just continued waiting for my plane. It never feels like a wait, super comfortable, internet access, all the good stuff. So it's basically you're just chilling and hanging out until you have to go on to your next leg. Coming back to authorized users specifically, when it comes to credit card numbers and the CVV 3-digit code on the back of the card, they're the same for you and your authorized users. What I want to highlight here is, with Chase Bank, it's exactly the same methodology. Yet, let's say I swipe, and let's say you have an authorized user and they swipe their card, on your statement, you're not going to be able to differentiate who did what transaction. On the other end, with the Capital One Venture X, let's say it's person A and person B, you can actually go through your statement, and although the numbers are the same, it clearly says which user had that transaction. Whether you're just trying to manage the splitting of expenses or trying to identify fraud type of transactions, with the Capital One Venture X, it's super easy to track, super easy to deal with, and otherwise. But with that, let's keep it going. This next one's going to deal with Hertz's presidential status. It's wild. I haven't rented that many cars in my life, but I've gotten upgraded every single time consistently, and more than an upgrade, I'll share a story. I landed at DFW airport and it was almost midnight, and I went to the Hertz kiosk. There was quite a few disgruntled customers because essentially they overbooked how many cars were to be rented out, and what that really meant was there were no cars for people who reserved a car. I went up to the desk and I asked, hey, is there anything you can do or otherwise? And they essentially said no. But then I pulled out my secret weapon saying, hey, if I have status, is there something you can do? And believe it or not, I got the last, quote unquote, the last car, like literally the last car on the lot. They weren't giving it to anybody. And it happened to be a Tesla Model 3. And they said, hey, are you comfortable having this car? Because based on your status, we can give it to you, but basically no one else. And I feel super lucky because we're talking about almost 25 other people. So apparently I had the most status, and I've never really used Hertz like that, but it's because of the Capital One Venture X I had this status. It was my first time driving a Tesla, but in addition to just feeling lucky about the whole situation, it kind of revived this love for everything credit cards, points, miles, because all the perks and everything. So for lack of a better expression, it was super dope. After this following point, we'll get into who this card is not meant for. The effective annual fee is $0 for the Capital One Venture X. And the reason is the annual fee is $395, and every year you get $300 in terms of a travel credit, which you can use on the portal. I go into more detail regarding this credit at this video here, which is going to be 7 Capital One Venture X facts you must know. The point being, $395 minus $300 leaves you with $95, but every year you're getting 10,000 anniversary miles, which essentially in cash back is $100. Hence, your effective annual fee is $395 minus $300 minus $100 leaves you with them essentially paying you $5 to keep the card. That's at minimum, but if you value those 10,000 miles and you value them more than just 1 penny per point, then essentially you're getting even more value overall. The cherry on top of all this is that you actually are able to refer others for miles, because until just a couple days ago, the Chase Sapphire Reserve for genuinely years wasn't offering folks that capability to refer others. With all these positive things I have to say about the Capital One Venture X, let me share a few points about who it's really not meant for. The first one's going to be, if none of these benefits on screen that I'm displaying right now, if they don't matter to you, then it really doesn't make sense to even think that much further. From there, if you're just never going to pay an annual fee in general in life, no matter how much value there is to be received from paying that annual fee, if that's just your rule, then it's not worth it. At the time of this recording, regarding the sign-up bonus, you're going to get 75,000 Capital One Venture X miles after $4,000 in spend in the first 3 months. When it first came out, I applied for the Capital One Venture X, and the requirement was $10,000 in the first 6 months for 100,000 Venture X miles. The reason I mention this is if you're not able to hit that spend in the allotted time, or if you have to overspend / go into debt to just get that bonus, it's not worth it. Not financial advice, but financially speaking, the numbers wouldn't make sense. From there, you have transfer partners, where let's say you're looking for Hyatt hotel points. Chase, they're a partner with Hyatt, and yes, you can book Hyatt hotels through Capital One's travel portal, yet at the same time, you may not get the best points value when you redeem. This may seem like a specific example, yet at the same time, if you're trying to stay with one hotel or one airline or one program that isn't a part of Capital One's overall ecosystem in terms of transfer partners, they may not make the most sense to apply. I say this because you can definitely redeem your points in a roundabout way. For example, transferring your Venture X miles to British Avios, where with British Avios you can book American airline flights, yet generally speaking, and keeping it super simple, if it's not a one-to-one type of transfer capability, that's really what I'm trying to say. From there, if we're talking credit card strategy, and whether you're beginning game, mid game, late game, doesn't matter. If it just doesn't make sense right now at this time to apply for it, then it is what it is. Maybe hold off, or maybe just don't get it all together. It is what it is. At this point in the video, I can tell you to click over here or over here for the next video, but really I'll share a quick story about being a Diamond member with Hilton due to a perk with the Hilton Aspire credit card, where you have Diamond status with Hilton Hotels, and how I got free charging for my Tesla. It was my first time ever having this thing, hence I didn't even know how to go about charging it. And I went to this NYLO hotel, just stopped by it because it said, hey, they have Tesla chargers, and I didn't know how to work it at all whatsoever. And of course, watching a video on YouTube, figuring this out was part of the thing, but actually I needed to go to the front desk to activate said charging. What had happened is the front desk said, hey, it says that, but really you can just put it in and it's not an issue at all. So this story goes to say that, hey, you can basically get free charging. It's not a supercharger, but you'll still get essentially free gas, quote unquote. So just a small kind of weird hack where I fooled myself being a Diamond member thinking I could get a favor, but in fact that favor turned into something free. So with that, subscribe. We'll be talking about other credit cards on the channel. And with that, see you soon enough. Peace.